Dumaguete.
Hello, Negros Oriental.
Hello, Sillimanians around the world.
This is Joshua Soldivillo.
And this is Ronelyn Vailoces.
And you're watching
Silliman. For Silliman updates, our Silliman updates for tonight are all about the milestones of the university in the past few days. To start with, we would like to congratulate the university through its School of Agro-Industrial and Technical Education or SAITE for receiving a Safety Seal certification from the Dumaguete City Government, which affirms that Silliman University is compliant with the minimum public health standards set by the LGU.
Absolutely amazing. Great job there, Saiti. Keep up the good work. Meanwhile, congratulations as well, no? To Denise Alvarez, Denise Hermano, and Joy Tan, third-year BS Computer Science students of Silliman University, who placed 5th in the Philippine Startup Challenge 2021, student category Region 7 pitching competition organized by the Department of Information, Communication, and Technology in Central Visayas last February 19, 2022.
Congratulations, students, on a job well done. We would also like to congratulate the Arts and Sciences, Psychology, Mass Communication, the Elementary and Secondary Education, and Nutrition and Dietetics programs for having been granted re-accreditation valid for 5 years until February 2027 by the Philippine Accrediting Association of Schools, Colleges, and Universities, or better known as PAASCO. Congratulations everyone on a job well done. And that's all for Silliman Updates. Good evening everyone. This is a magazine program that talks about the different aspects of Silliman University.
A campus initiated to discuss matters concerning the campus by the sea. You're watching Silliman. Good evening, everybody, and happy Fire Prevention Month. Ronelyn, it's already
March. And happy
March.
Women's Month,
Yes,
of course.
so
let's not forget.
Maybe we can create a happy women that are on fire month.
Okay,
so that could be a good fusion of our celebrations this month. But nevertheless, we wish that as you join us tonight, you are in good health, you are with your family, and of course, you're able to submit your assignments in our SOAD platform. For tonight's episode, friends, we are going to discuss different services, Ron, that are actually available to our students, particularly under the Office of Student Services. So without further ado, allow me to introduce one of the guests tonight, actually, the Chief of the Students Activities and Organization, or Students Organization and Activities Division. We finally call him Kuya Abe Cadeliña. Kuya Abe, welcome to the show. Good evening, and how are you?
I'm good, I'm good.
Wow.
Thank you for having me.
We also have another guest for tonight. Of course, we should also hear from our students, and it is my honor and privilege to introduce to you a senior psychology student and the evaluation and registration head of ComSO, or Committee on Students Organization, Mr. Carlwin Dagdag. Good evening, Carlwin. How are you today?
Hello, good evening, everyone. I'm so happy to be here, and thank you for inviting us.
Right. So, Ron, how does it feel? It's already March.
Actually, I really love this month because we are going to celebrate strong women. You know, this is the month for mothers, for strong ladies, and we acknowledge the efforts that were made by women throughout history. No?
Yeah, that's right. But aside from the Women's Month celebration, it's also Fire Prevention Month, no? So would like to remind our televiewers, no, to always do the necessary things that you have to do, no?
Precautions.
Before, during, after you leave your house, diba? Because we are susceptible, you know, we are prone to these kinds of hazards, so to speak. But tonight, we have Kuya Abe with us, and Kuya Abe is our SOAD advisor. Is that right, Kuya Abe?
Head.
Or SOAD chief or head? How do we address you?
Well, technicality-wise, I'm a division head.
Division head.
Yeah, but you can call me Kuya Abe or Sir Abe to some, or whatever you want. I'm okay with that.
Pare, okay lang ba yun, pare?
So actually, there was one guest who called me that.
Oh.
Wow. So anyway, SOAD. I think most of the student leaders are very familiar to your office. But for those who are not really into extracurricular activities, can you describe to us, Kuya Abe, what is SOAD and what are the office services does your office serve?
All right. SOAD, by the name itself, no, student organizations and activities division. Basically, the function of the office is to first recognize student organizations, give them formal recognition, and then next would be student activities. It's the SOAD office who approves student activities starting from early childhood all the way up to grad school. Official activities have to be approved by SOAD.
And these activities include?
Well, we have field trips, we have
Training seminars.
yeah, seminars, and then
Outreach programs.
basically all activities that needs the university's blessing. It has to pass through SOAD.
You know, speaking of activities, I'd like to ask Carlwin, what are the activities that you miss? You know, because of the pandemic, there's a lot of things that we missed. As a student of Silliman University, what did you miss the most?
Actually, I really missed Hibalag. Like, in my 2 years of face-to-face setup, Hibalag was one of the biggest events I've attended so far. It was really fun. And although we were able to translate naman Hibalag in the online setup, pero iba pa rin yung face-to-face setup talaga. It was really fun having Hibalag every year.
We miss a lot of events, so yeah.
And since Carl here mentioned, Kuya Abe, about missing this face-to-face interaction, you know, among peers, among friends, and even alumni, right? So, how does SOAD now adapt to these changes?
Well, first off, we miss it too, the face-to-face. That's
Who
equal.
doesn't?
Yeah, who doesn't miss that? Well, as Carl mentioned earlier, we've transferred to a virtual setup for Hibalag. I think this would be the second run when we have HBF or the Hibalag Booth Festival online. No, they're using. I'm not very sure about, or I'm not too. Well, anyway,
Facebook live streaming.
No, you're using this
Minecraft?
engine. Oh yes, that's it.
Yeah, the Minecraft.
They're
Yeah,
using Minecraft and all those other engines, or what you call those platforms.
Online platforms.
Yeah. These student leaders are actually very creative. And then 2 years back, when I challenged them to hold HBF online, they came up with the ideas. Sir, let's use this, let's use that. I had my own ideas, but not as good as their ideas. So that's when we have Minecraft for HBF, and you have to see that. I think they have a recording of that.
That tour.
It's really good.
Yeah, I think I've watched that, and the introduction, was it like how do you start the Hibalag season? Was it like sort of a parade or like
Parade of lights.
parade of
Usually
you
start
call
with
it a
that.
parade of lights? I think you also did that online, right? And I think that was so wonderful.
Speaking of activities for this year or for this semester, what are the activities do you have in store for our students?
Yeah.
Sir Kuya Abe?
I will have to give that to Carl.
Carl, your time to shine.
Yeah, okay. For this semester, the major activities by the SUSG, I think, would be first the intramurals, the e-trams. And for the Committee on Student Organizations, we are also organizing an org developmental camp, which might happen sometime around March last week or April first week. And we're still conceptualizing as to what the theme of the org developmental camp would be, but probably it would highlight on disaster risk management since, you know,
So how will,
that happened.
I'm curious, how will this intramurals go? What are the sports that you are going to include? Will it just be all about, you know, e-games,
E-games.
mobile legends, or
Or maybe
whatnot?
chess also.
Something like that. Or do we have to have a face-to-face, like basketballs?
I think the SUSG Sports and Recreation Committee highlights mobile games talaga, mobile tournaments. We have CODs, I think, for one. I think there are
COD
also
is
like,
cash on delivery.
Call of Duty.
CODL,
Shopee,
like
cash
Call
on
of
delivery.
Duty, I think.
Sorry.
And, I'm sorry. Yun,
Sige.
and other activities online. I don't think there are activities which will happen face to face because I think, as per Sir Abe as well,
Yeah.
we try to minimize face to face engagements because of the
Right. So a lot of limitations, definitely.
Actually, last year, it was last year when you started the online, the e-trams, right?
Yes po.
They did this, was that Minecraft again? Wherein they, kanang the usual thing that you do, the torch.
The torch,
Yeah,
yeah.
they made that. They made a map of the gym, where there was this digital guy running around with a torch, and then another thing that is very good
I
done by
thought
students.
the inspiration was you, Kuya Abe. It was you bringing the torch.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes po.
Yeah, so I think given the statements of Carl earlier, no, there's still this limitation. So despite these limitations, Kuya Abe, what do you think are the milestones of your office so far
Yeah.
with respect to student activities?
Well, I think it would be basically moving to a virtual
Yeah.
system, especially with the approval of activities. Because I think during your time, you're aware that the processing of permits, you have to go to the office,
Yes,
you have to
yes.
bring those
Yes.
documents and everything. Now we're doing it online.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, I like the system. And even if we go back to F2F, I might continue with that setup, the virtual processing of permits, with probably a little tweak here and there.
Okay.
But yeah, that's it. We migrated online, and then most of our activities now are also online. And we are in fact pushing organizations to really initiate activities, webinars, summits in the virtual setup.
So, Carl, are you going to join? What are the events or activities that you are so excited to join or participate in for this semester? Or are you just going to, organize all these things or what?
I'm actually on the organizing side po talaga because I can't
Leader.
even participate in the e-trams. I don't know any mobile games, but
Okay.
yeah, I think right now the committee and student organizations are really working hard with building the org developmental camp. We usually have that every year.
That's every
and-
second semester.
Every second semester.
That's a regular thing for the student organizations.
Right. So I believe in the this migration that we're talking about here. I think there's a lot of consideration, Kuya Abe, no? Because, for instance, during the face-to-face, we have to have this medical certificate
Yes.
because we really want to ensure the safety of our
Safety of
students. But how about in the virtual space? How do we make sure that our students also have this safety? No?
Well, the good thing about virtual activities, students do not go out, so they stay at home or they stay in one place. That alone already ensures safety. So that is why, for now, we are really telling our organizations not to initiate activities
Alright.
that would engage publicly or when they go out to community. And because the good thing about our organizations, they really love, it's in their blood, or it's probably part of the Silliman spirit.
Yeah.
When you go to the community, engage and do your social responsibility. But right now with the setup, and especially with the CHED, the instructions by CHED that no students should go out. So right now, we have been trying to go around it, not to dampen the spirits of the organization. So what we do is we allow them to initiate community activities, but they have to partner with groups,
organizations.
external organizations who would go to the communities
on-site.
for them.
So it's not only them.
Nah.
Okay. I
So
see.
that's the good thing about that is they develop the spirit of
Collaborations.
partnership,
Collaboration. Right.
So yeah, I know if we are all in the pandemic, although that there are a lot of participants and collaboration is also possible, let's talk about the challenges that you encountered when you organize certain activities. So what are those?
I think on the side of the student organizations, it's primarily logistics because before
It's the snacks committee.
Yeah, the dynamics of the organizations is usually they hold events alone lang. But however, I think that was it was difficult right now working virtually because they don't really often see each other, and everything all of the tasks are communicated online already. But I think the good thing about the online setup is they were able to expand more when it comes to collaborations and partnerships. Like right now, there's student org to student org partnerships. So like someone gets to be assigned to do communication related tasks. Others would be like on outsourcing speakers or like preparing the meeting platform. So they help each other, which is really a good thing.
And that sounds so amazing, Ron, no? That despite the distance, they can still organize a lot of. I've been following their Facebook page, and you can see like activity after another activity, and wow, I mean, very seamless, no? So I want to pick the question up again, Kuya Ip, about the safety safety aspect of students in the virtual space.
Yes.
So have you considered like ethical, let's say, measures to make sure that, you know, because in the digital space we have different threats, let's say
You have a lot of predators.
yes, no? So how do we ensure our safety of students with respect to this digital space?
Okay, whenever organizations or a group of students would send to the office a permit for approval, we always require a protocol. No? The protocol there is not just physical, but how do they go about with the program? How do they control the coming in of participants? So it's part of the requirements. We have to know how the program would run from beginning to end. So that's where we put the safety system as we consider it. So, but we cannot really say that it's 100%.
Yes.
You know, there's always a chance of, as I mentioned earlier, predators coming in.
Yes.
So you just have to be on your guard always, because if you're in the online world, it's really a personal thing for you to also be on your guard. So we cannot control that anymore because that's personal. So we just have to trust the organizers that from their end they would also be doing the best they can to control the flow of the system.
You know, Josh, it really inspires me, or it really fascinate me how the student leaders actually have the heart to, you know, devote themselves to leadership. So what inspires you? What motivates you to become a student leader, Carl?
Actually, I've been very participative since high school. I do a lot.
How old are you, Carl?
Right now, I'm 22.
22.
Yes.
As young as 22, huh?
Yeah, so I've been very. I think the most of the reasons why student leaders join activities or clubs, apart from, you know, getting to meet new friends or learning how to go about certain tasks, I think it's the idea, Jud, of having community. I personally join orgs because I get to learn a lot of things from my other friends within the organization. Like, I don't just learn about the tasks that we have in the org, but I also learn from the perspective of my co-leaders or my co-student leaders. So yeah, I think that's a really good learning opportunity you can get when you join organizations.
Yeah, and you commit mistakes together.
Yeah.
and the mistakes are, you know, instead of being so frustrated about it, you even make fun out of it. So, Kuya Abe,
Yes.
what have been the usual pabuyags of this student leader? Because you have been the kuya or sometimes the father, no? So before that, we will pause a short break. So we will know the answer when #Silliman returns. All right, welcome back to #Silliman, and we are still with our guests, Kuya Abe Cadeliña of SOAD and one of our student leaders in the university, Carl. All right, so we paused for a break, and my last question was, what are the usual pabuyags of our student leaders? Which I think very healthy because we have a kuya to guide them.
Ooh, okay. Well, first, thank you for not asking my age.
It's less than 100.
The usual pabuyag. Okay. In this setup, the virtual setup.
Perhaps.
Well, fortunately for now,
Wow.
I don't see any pabuyag really.
Wow.
Problem.
Perfect sa itong student leaders.
Except. Except for maybe a few lang, because we have this protocol on not coming up with activities, kanang community engagement.
right.
There are some who would really do it out of siguro instructions from their elders, their senior members. This usually happens with our fraternities and sororities. You see, they also have their own
Yes.
system, right? And they also have their own programs. And especially when you have chapters, then you have this central council that governs everything.
Right.
Anyway, that setup. There's always a chance that the national council would ask all the chapters to do this. So if you're a chapter here, and here comes the big ups telling you to do this, you really have to do it. That's when the problem comes in, because sometimes they forget that we have this rule for now. You should not engage because of the pandemic.
And it's for their safety.
It's for their safety. So what happens is, if ever they come up with those activities, it will not be approved, but they continue with the activities, but that's already on their own.
Yes.
We cannot really say, we cannot hold them back, because they're an organization on their own, and they have their life as an organization. So you go ahead with your activities, but that is not university sanctioned. So whatever
I see.
happens, wala na ang university.
Alright.
So something like that, usually kana nga pabuyag. But kanang pabuyag na, the really major pabuyag, no, our students are very good.
Yeah.
That's a good
Well
indicator.
behaved.
Yeah.
And they have brilliant minds.
Right.
So, I've been meaning to ask, what is your most favorite or the most, what do you like most about your job, Kuya Abe?
Oh, what do I like most about my job?
Yeah.
The
Working
free
with
food.
students.
Well, especially with working with students, I think it keeps me young. Char.
Char.
Really, because
I will not disagree.
okay. Yeah, because when you get to talk to these guys and they come up with ideas,
Like Carl.
yeah, every year fresh ideas, grabe. And people like Carl nga kanang, they think with less supervision, and then kanang maka-proud ba, and then working with people like Carl, student leaders like Carl, ideas, young minds have really brilliant ideas.
Yes.
Ma-surprise lang ka, no? And then, siguro that thing that whenever they surprise me, that keeps me going, because I want to be surprised more. So it keeps me going and going. And then that keeps me loving my job, because it becomes interesting every day. That's
Right.
it.
So I think that's very important that as employees in the university, we get to inspire students,
Yes.
and vice versa, we are inspired
That's right.
by our students. And speaking of inspiration, we have Carl here, diba? So, Carl, what do you think is your favorite about the Silliman education with respect to being part of organizations, and how does this help you build your own character and maybe find your purpose in life? That's kind of deep, huh?
That was a very difficult question. But I think it's really opportunities. We have the 5 C's, no? And Silliman education really goes beyond just the classroom. We get to immerse ourselves in the community. We also have activities that allows us to appreciate varying cultures. We even embrace, we have international students. So the SUSG back in the face-to-face setup, have events actually that promotes other cultures from other countries, especially to celebrate with international students.
Wow.
So, yun, I think one word that would describe what makes Silliman Education apart from other schools is really opportunities. Like, we have a lot of opportunities here, not just inside the classroom, but even beyond it. Like, and we have very productive student leaders, graduates even,
Yes.
and they were able to achieve what they've achieved because of the opportunities that's overflowing. in the
Ron, I'm
university.
having some goosebumps right now with the words of Carl, no? And I can truly relate to it. Way back, those were the days. Nostalgic. Yes.
Okay, so this is a bit hypothetical question. This goes for the two of you.
Okay.
If you're going to introduce Silliman to a stranger, how will you do it?
And I will be the stranger.
Yeah, sige. Kunwari ikaw. Sige.
Oh, role play?
Oh, yeah, role play. Activity, asynchronous ko.
Okay. Go ahead, Gar.
Ako, I usually start with, interested ba ka sa Silliman? Like, naay daghan kayong scholarship sa AMUA, and then daghan pong programs if mahilig kag allied health or nahan ka mag-doktor, daghan jud kayong lami nga activity sa Silliman. Dayon medyo barato po among tuition compared sa laing private school. So kana, if interested ka, daghan jud kayong opportunities nga makuha nimo in the school.
Thank you, Carl. How about Kuya Abe?
Yeah, gihurot naman ni Carl. Anyway, siguro I would, this is marketing, Silliman, right? So, I would probably tell the stranger that if you want a holistic life ahead of you, go to Silliman. Because if I were to use my life as an example, having been born and raised in Silliman by parents both Sillimanians, and then now getting all of my education from Silliman and now working in Silliman.
And your
Carl was
kids.
right. And my kids also now studying in Silliman. Well, one half pa kay wala pa mag-study. Carl was right. There's opportunity. It's not just opportunity to get scholarships and that, but it's opportunity to grow,
Yes.
spiritually, financially, well, ano lang, but you don't, for the record, you don't make money if you're in Silliman, but you get the best experience of your life, and you interact with a lot of people, and you get to experience a lot of things na you can only get when you're in Silliman. That's the story of my life, being in Silliman. So probably that's how I would market Silliman. to a
So
stranger.
the story itself
The
of
story itself.
Kuya Abe is his marketing, no? for those who are interested to Silliman. And I think these stories are, there's no substitutes to this.
Yeah.
It's authentic, it happened, and it's happening. And that is their story, our story, it's Silliman's story.
It's true. No?
So, Kuya Abe and Carl have prepared some fast talks.
Okay.
Let's have some fun.
So,
My buzzer?
no second thinking.
Okay.
Okay. Don't think at all. Just say whatever comes to mind for the first time, right?
Okay.
All right. So let's start with. So we'll go with Carl, and then we go to Kuya Abe. Okay. Carl, cheese bread or baked siopaw?
Cheese bread supremacy.
Kuya Abe, Portal East or Portal West?
West.
Carl, Chanon Hall or Katipunan Hall?
Katipunan, I'm from Kaas.
May bias.
Kuya Abe, Intrams or Founders Day?
Founders Day.
Okay.
Carl, Nining or Bossing?
Nining.
Nining.
Daghan kapilian sa
Kuya
nining.
Abe, True Blue or True Red?
Red.
Carl, Sands or Corals?
Corals.
Corals.
Vintage SU bus or modern SU bus?
Vintage.
Carl, the best parking area in the university?
Auseho Hall?
AH area.
area.
Small yaw to
Dahil
Kaas.
sa kong alon sa kilid.
Kuya Abe, most beautiful or comfortable CR on campus?
Oh. The CR sa President's Office?
Probably.
I miss going there. Best place to hang out?
I think amphitheater,
I thought it's
really
still
the
cast.
best.
Best place to meditate.
Oh, Udarbe Chapel.
Carl, PE or religion?
PE.
Hi to our religion family.
Kuya Abe, library or amphitheater?
Ay, amphitheater. sorry, live.
It's a live game.
Carl, Katipunan Gate or Laguna Gate?
Laguna Gate, dormer.
Dormer. The friend to all dormers.
Kuya Abe, the best place to sleep?
Oh, that would be my bed.
Carl, synchronous or asynchronous?
Synchronous. Like,
Synchronous.
super miss na jud ang face-to-face setup.
Oh.
Nice.
Kuya Abe, favorite secretary?
Ay, bias na ko ani.
Why?
Naiba for Ate Rose kay Gulang. I respect the Gulang.
Shout out to Ate Rose.
10 years from now, ikaw na pudkat.
Carl, favorite teacher?
Favorite teacher, Dr. Piniero sa psych.
Wow.
Luan.
Ma'am Luan.
4.0 na.
Kuya Abe, coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Coffee lover.
Okay, so I
Coffee
think
lover.
both of you has to answer this question.
Okay.
All right, so both of you have to answer this question. Carl, online or face-to-face?
Face-to-face.
Kuya Abe,
Face to face.
face to face. Joshua,
Whatever's better. Walang answer. Well, face-to-face. Ronelyn.
face to
Face
face.
to
Safe
face.
answer para ako lang iba dito. Online.
Right. Thank you very much once again, Kuya
you.
Abe Cadeliña, of the chief of the Student Organization and Activities Division, and one of our active student leaders, Carl Dagdag. Carl, thank you so much,
Thank
Kuya
you.
Abe. Thank you. And we have now come to the last segment of our program. It's called #WTP Word to Ponder. Ron, what's the big word to ponder this episode? I think we had a very fun conversation.
I think it bothers me what word to actually ponder, but I'd like to this resonate to the rest of us. But the word youth.
Youth.
The song "Youth is Wasted on the Young," but I don't think so. When you are here in Silliman University, I don't think so that your youth will be wasted here, because there's a lot of opportunities, there's a lot of activities, and you will get a holistic education, and you will be a well-rounded individual once you actually leave the halls of Silliman. How about you, Josh?
To me, it's going to be, I will copy Carl. It will be opportunity.
Okay.
Right? Because I think all of us are talented. We all have the abilities. So it's a matter of finding the right opportunities where we can maximize, improve,
Yeah.
and even push forward ourselves further. And whenever you see an opportunity, seize it.
Grab it.
Grab it, have it, pull it. So thank you very much. I think that would be the end of our episode tonight. Daghang salamat, keep safe, and to God be the glory. Sillimanians around the world, daghang salamat for joining us tonight. Please continue to support us by following our social media accounts. On Facebook, it's #Silliman, and on YouTube, it's still #Silliman. Don't forget to like, share, and comment, and we'll see you there.
And catch us on Peel Products every Monday at 8 p.m. and replays will be shown every Friday at 8 p.m. and Saturdays at 2 p.m.
Well, Carl, I really like your hoodie. Where did you get this?
You can actually get this in the Silliman store. That's beside the SU cafeteria.
Wow, this is so amazing, right?
Yeah. So everyone, see you next week only here on
#Silliman. Bye, guys!